Take a look at this analog electronic circuit. It is a massive, tangled web of resistors, batteries, and intersecting branches. Let's say you need to know how much current is flowing through just one specific wire, right over here on the far right edge of this mess. If you try to calculate that using basic circuit laws, you have to define a unique mathematical variable for every single branch in the entire system. Since every component interacts with the others, you are forced to solve a massive system of simultaneous equations, specifically 2n equations. It is a process that leaves far too much room for a single arithmetic mistake to ruin the entire calculation. Engineers bypass this mathematical bottleneck using a specific set of shortcuts called network theorems. These theorems provide the tools to strip away the noise and isolate individual variables, shrinking a massive web of electronics down into a few simple, manageable components. The first major hurdle in a chaotic circuit is having multiple power sources pushing energy in different directions at the same time. To manage those conflicting sources, engineers use the superposition theorem. As long as the circuit is linear, superposition proves that we can isolate the impact of just one power source at a time. We turn off all other sources by replacing them with their internal resistances, leaving a single active source pushing current. You calculate each result separately, then sum them all up to find the total network response. While superposition conquers the chaos of multiple power sources, it doesn't solve the scale problem. The circuit itself is still a massive physical web. Most of the time, we don't actually need to know what's happening to every resistor in the middle of a circuit. We only care about what happens at two specific output terminals. Back in 1853, the German scientist Hermann von Helmholtz derived a solution to this, a method later popularized by the French engineer Léon Charles Thevenin. Thevenin's theorem states any linear network can be replaced by an equivalent circuit with just one voltage source and one resistor in series. Sibling concept Norton's theorem achieves this same abstraction, but models the network with a current source and resistor in parallel. Using these equivalents, an engineer can treat a whole city grid or a complex computer motherboard as if it were just a simple battery and a resistor. Now that our giant circuit is a simple Thevenin equivalent, we can answer one final question. How do we get the absolute most power out of it and into a connected load, like a loudspeaker? To optimize that output, we use the maximum power transfer theorem. This graph compares load resistance to power output. To extract maximum power, you must tune the load so its resistance exactly matches the internal resistance of the source circuit. But there's a trade-off. At peak transfer, system efficiency is only 50%. Because load and source resistances are equal, half the total power is lost as heat inside the source itself. Only the remaining half reaches the load. This trade-off is common in audio amplification and radio communications. In those fields, delivering the strongest possible signal to the end user is more important than the energy lost to heat. Look at our starting point compared to this clean equivalent circuit. These four theorems provide the foundational logic that engineers use to navigate multi-loop systems. By compressing wildly complex grids into simple models, we can predict how a signal will behave across a processor or a power grid without being paralyzed by thousands of individual branch variables. Engineering efficiency relies on reducing a problem until only the essential variables remain.